Hello and welcome to the May 14th edition of the Bubb Report. I am Rion Charles. This week on our program, we look forward to Spice Mass 2023 on the heels of the recently concluded Spice Mass launch in New York City. The Diaspora launch capped off a series of media and public events, shoring up what organizers hope will be a bumper carnival season. This year's theme is dubbed Spice Mass The Evolution, and in an appearance on the Bubb Report, the new Spice Mass CEO put the carnival theme into this context.
We need to set institutions, we need to set things in place so that the people to follow us will in fact see the vision we have, see how good it is, and be able to work towards making sure that what we do in terms of the evolution is sustained and not turned back. So really and truly, a lot of emphasis is going to be placed and is being placed on that of policies and procedure. I would hasten to add that I don't want people to have the exceedingly high expectation that some of what we are working on that are all going to come to fruition in 2023, because that is not true. It will not happen. But I definitely hope that the time by 2024, we should be seeing some significant changes to the way Spice Mass is being rolled out, the way Spice Mass is being marketed as a product.
Also, we sit with two creatives on the report to reflect on the recently concluded Cultural and Creative Industries Conference in Grenada. The three-day conference mobilized a panoply of creatives, policymakers, and financiers to chart the way forward for growing the sector. The conference speakers included star-studded Grenadian creatives from home and abroad who shared their experiences in the industry and offered many roadmaps for budding creatives to follow in the pursuit of their own dreams and aspirations.
And indeed, this is the first time in our history that a conference of this kind is being held. Participants will have the chance to wrap their minds around key policy issues related to the entire creative industry's value chain, to include institutional support for this sector. But importantly, this gathering is about empowerment. You, the participants, should emerge from this exercise feeling stronger, feeling more confident in the creative path that you have chosen to walk in your life.
You have to share it, because if I go, I can't go with this. And people have to recognize, or locals, you have to recognize the talent you have in your country. It is very important. Your work, it doesn't matter how much digital you have, how much this have you have. It's how good you are, what people remember of you. If you get up on your stage, you're a lousy actor, you will not hire you. If you're a lousy choreographer, digital, filmmaker, whatever it is, you can bring it up, you can have all the branding you want. If it ain't good, if it ain't connecting.
We welcome our guests, writer and filmmaker Trisha Keynes Douglas, soca artist Curtin Alma Boy Roberts, Kareem Marcel, cultural entrepreneur Janice Augustin, spokesperson for the Spice Mass Corporation New York, and Mashida Phillip, film director. Here now is our guest co-host for this week's program, journalist Kellon Campbell. We wish our executive producer well as he recovers from a brief illness. We thank you for joining us.
A special good morning to everyone and welcome to this week's edition of the Bubb Report. My name is Kellon Campbell and I'll be your guest host on this week's episode, as Dr. Kellon Bubb, the executive producer of the program, is currently unwell. We take this opportunity to wish him a speedy recovery, and definitely he will be back next week to host next week's program. We also take the opportunity to wish all the mothers happy Mother's Day, especially to the mothers who tune in every week while preparing their Sunday lunches and doing their chores and still find time to tune into the program. We thank you and we are grateful for your presence. This week's program, we welcome our first, or two guests actually. We reflect on the just concluded groundbreaking Creative Industries Conference held in Grenada at the Radisson Grenada Beach Resort, and that was dubbed Unleashed. Now, the event came in high praise as it helped to reimagine the possibility of a robust and sustainable creative economy in Grenada. We take this time now to welcome our guests to the program, Trisha Kings Douglas and Mashida Phillip, the founder of Grenada's 12 Degrees North and 61 Degrees West Film Festival. Now, the festival, which is going into its fifth year, promotes Grenadian culture and stories to a global audience and embraces our region's cultures. So we take the opportunity to welcome Ms. Mashida Phillip and Ms. Trisha Kings Douglas. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, Mashida, I know this is not your first time to the Bubb Report, right?
No, it's not. It's certainly not. And it's just an honor and a privilege to be here. And as you alluded to earlier, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there locally here in Grenada and in the diasporic community and globally. You know, this is an amazing day.
All right. So just put into context, just very quickly, you know, the film festival that you continue to host every year and stage every year, rather. Just briefly, give us a brief introduction.
As you mentioned, we are going into our fifth year, can you believe it or not? And we're excited about that. We have been servicing and providing a service here in Grenada where we're showcasing and focusing on getting Grenadian stories to be consumed locally here and appreciated locally here, and also export that throughout the diaspora and the global markets. So we serve as a vehicle for providing a space to activate more or less a lot of the budding filmmakers and seasoned filmmakers from here in Grenada and the region, to give them a space so they can connect, exhibit their work, receive the empowerment and inspiration amongst international artists. So in a nutshell, that's what we do.
All right. You know, I was quite surprised. Well, no, sorry. Let me take that back. I was not surprised to see you attending the conference held last week. You know, I think this is an opportunity where we can now start the conversation as to where we take the creative industry. Give me your impression of last week's event and tell me some of the, you know, the takeaways that you got from it.
You and I have worked in the past before, and you understand the dedication and determination and the efforts that were put in. For the people who are not aware of who I am, I'm a creative entrepreneur. My involvement in the creative sector spans over 15 years here in Grenada. So I started from music to spoken words to digital, and now my medium that I am promoting is film. So I'm very much versed in the creative space here, and all of this takes place in Grenada. My vision of what happened last week, I was really impressed. It is something that is historical, not just for Grenada, but for the OECS region and this part of the world, right? So we have to applaud the government for taking this initiative to put us on the roadmap that way. You know, Honorable Deacon mentioned it's about empowerment, and I think our people needed to feel that. They needed to feel inspired. They need to feel empowered. They need to hear that there is resources available to them for all of the work that we have been putting in. I was rather impressed by the production that was there. I was rather impressed by the accolades of different Grenadian talent that came in to represent from the diaspora. I've been saying this for years now that there are so many of us in the diaspora that are involved in entertainment in some way, shape, or form. And it's really nice and refreshing to see that more people are willing to come home and share what it is that they have been, the experiences that they have been acquiring out there back here.
Right.
Personally, I feel that we needed a little bit more local representation because we need a balance. When you're doing things of this nature, we need a balance. But it was a really nice initiative.
Wonderful. Trisha, so I would like to get your impression of the just concluded conference. Are you on the soil at present, or?
Oh, yes, I am
Oh,
currently
good,
in
good,
Grenada, Miss Sharida, and I
wonderful.
attended
Oh, wonderful.
together,
All right,
and we both said, we have to be there, right?
good.
So we came down, and I was very impressive, right? Well done production, the great speakers and panelists, and so forth. And I think I was even more impressed by the amount of Grenadians who are
Okay,
creatives, right? To hear the different things that they're doing and they're working on personally. And, creativity comes in many forms, right? So, looking at the little niche markets that everyone's breaking into and, hearing the speakers also talk about their niche markets, I thought that was a great time to spark the imagination, right? Of
hmm,
what are the possibilities? And then now, okay, I need a roadmap, and how am I going to go forth and do it? So, much applause to the Grenadian government and the Creative Affairs Office, and looking forward to what's next.
and I'm sure it's a wonderful opportunity you had to network as well.
There were some networking opportunities. As a screenwriter, I thought it was interesting that so many Grenadian, and I know people want to write movies. People want to be in movies. People want to write movies because as a culture, we love film,
Okay,
right? We go to the movie theater. It's what we have to do because there's a lot of access globally, right? A film can bring the world to you, right? And at your doorstep that, some other creative form cannot. So when you tell people you're a screenwriter, when they talk about it, like, wait, I want to meet someone like you. I want to talk to you. So I didn't really get to network with the other panelists, but I got to network with a lot of Grenadians who are also trying to learn how to write, or
okay,
with Mashida do production, or they want to act. Okay, so that was great.
okay. I want to bring back Mashida onto the screen. I'm going to throw that question off to you because we've had conversations in the past pertaining to that. Now, you have expressed frustration about the lack of institutional support for creatives. Okay, so now we see that we're going in the right direction through this,
Hmm.
the launch of Unleashed. But still, just put into perspective your frustration and how would this conference position creatives to receive better support from the government?
Well, from my understanding, my frustration in the past, let's put it into context, because I came into a space 5 years ago where we did not have any real infrastructure in place that supported the art and supported what I am doing, because I came in fresh where I have been developing an industry that has not been really tapped into quite often. I am not the first person to attempt to do so. Let's get that clear. But I have been investing myself and my team in making sure we have a platform. We brought in workshops, we brought in things to kind of accelerate those efforts that were purely our investment. And as time went on, we were supported by different institutions like UNESCO because we are a UNESCO awardee. We received a grant to develop more courses here in Grenada and put on different things. But it was a very lonely aspect where we did not know where to go to really get the support that we needed. So a lot of the work that we have done was basically from the regional and international support that we were getting to provide these opportunities here. Now that we have this new government and this new administration that understands the value and the power behind the creative industry, for me personally, as a creative, one, as a filmmaker, two, as a practitioner that is providing opportunities for other creatives, um, seeing the work and the things that is being implemented by this administration. One, the tax incentives to give creative breaks on bringing in the equipment that they need to further develop their services. I think this is amazing. This is an amazing step. This conference that was put on by the government by the Office of the Creative Affairs also puts a map to say, we hear you, we understand you, we want to support you. So this also is giving creatives that momentum to do so. My hope is that the follow through is there, that we can now have more engagement with practitioners like myself, like Miss Stacy Bear, who has been here on the ground, the Urias Peters, who has Labukan, the stewards of these spaces that have been investing over the years to create it. Bring us all on a table and really come down to micro spaces and how we can now strengthen the government's initiative to be able to build capacity. Personally, as someone who lives and exists both locally here in Grenada and in the diaspora, Grenada speaks a different language. There's a different context. There's a different culture that is here that quite often is still not ready for the experiences we have in the diaspora. So we have to be mindful of that in meeting here. We are providing something that has a whole different um, local ecosystem, and we have to work with this in
Right.
order to better serve and elevate here for the regional and international, or prepare our people for the regional and international trade and recognition. So there are multiple folds. After I had the opportunity of introducing the festival to the Grenadians who were locally attending, as well as people viewing internationally, the responses that came here was they did not realize this has been available to them. So option one, Unleash provided that for us, which is a very good start. The second thing is the minister pledged that he would do everything in his power to support us in strengthening this, which I think is an amazing thing. So our team is excited to sit with the minister, sit with Mr. Romaine, to
Okay.
figure out how we can further develop opportunities for the creatives locally here. Because film is unique, right? Film is something that encompasses all the sectors, the creative sectors. We need the script writers. We need the carpenters who build and design sets for us. We need the
Right.
makeup artists. We need the musicians. We need everyone to come on board. So that's what we provide. So it's a good space. We're in a good space. And I'm excited actually to sit with the government to see how we can do that, to provide more opportunities for our creators. It's a good
Okay.
step.
Okay. Trisha, I want to get your perspective on it. And also, could there be more opportunities for local representation at that session? In your opinion, do you think that there's room for that?
Definitely. I think we had so many people in the diaspora there. Local representation would have been great because I know there are people on the ground who are doing amazing things. So it would have been great to incorporate them, as just as we did with people who were there regionally, right? People from the University of the West Indies and people from Jamaica, the OECS, things like that. So there was an opportunity where we could have had more local people there,
Right.
and because they're on the ground,
Okay.
right? So how do you now mobilize people on the ground? It has to be with the people who live here and work here and understand the infrastructure. So and then you can now go back to the people and start setting up, the infrastructure so that they can now proceed. Because I think many people walked away with, okay, so now what do I do?
Oh,
Yeah.
and that leads me to my next question, and I'm hoping that the two could be, I could address the question to the two of you. What are some of the missed opportunities, in your opinion? Were there any missed opportunities? I'm throwing it out. Anyone willing to answer that question?
Well,
Open.
particularly with the film space, I thought there was a missed opportunity there because here is Mashida and
Okay.
I'm here, right? And we're pretty decently loud enough that people know that we're here. So I thought, there was a bit of a dance there. I guess people, I'm coming back to Grenada now. I've been abroad for 20 years. Yes, I'm in the community, But I've been studying and I've been building myself and I've been making connecting and negotiating in New York City, trying to advance myself. If I can't advance myself, I'm going to advance another Grenadian person,
Right.
right? I'm going to pass the torch in just that way. So, you know, I'm a screenwriter. I went to NYU. I have a master's degree in screenwriting. Not many people can do that. However, I specifically wanted to go to Grenada to say to someone, if you really want to pursue that path, because it's a great path, right, to get in your foot in the door, how does one now try to get into a master's degree program for art, right? To become that professional that can be like, received and respected. Whereas, saying to me, you can do something and go onto YouTube or do this and do that, right? So I thought it'd be nice to develop those relationships. I don't want to talk so much about missed opportunities, but I want to show that moving forward, right, we can be clearer that there is a need for this type of discussion. There's a need for that type of training. Because I was there hoping that I could even just pop up something on a screen. This is how you write, this is your first page of your script, right? This is the industry standard. This is what they expect of you, right? How do I get that? How would I do this? Right? How to tell a story, right? What are the expectations of that, talking about industry wise, not just, creative wise, right? Because it's a product.
Right.
So, I that's what I thought. And I thought in many different ways, many people felt that way. And it was great in the end to see that once people realized that we were in the room by day three, we left the conference room and then all of a sudden there were like masses of like, people just following us. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, wait, it's like, wait, you're doing a reading? I can't do that. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I want to do this. I'm like, but this is the point. We could have been discussing this for 3 days.
Mm. As you mentioned the reading, as a screenwriter, you wrote, you know, a film that was inspired by Henry Christophe, a Grenadian-born Haitian revolutionary leader. And you also did a reading of that film at Rainbow Inn in conjunction with Grenada. Just tell us a little bit about that.
So, like I said, started developing. I went to NYU and I had to write something overnight. And they say, write what you know. So I thought, okay, let me write something about a plantation. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to incorporate this idea of jab, and there's going to be a massacre in the end. Um, so I wrote that, and as I tell people, the dude who was best friends with the dude who originated Batman liked it a lot. So, coming into it years later, I thought, well, maybe I can take this short film and expand it into a greater context. Originally, I had it on a French island. I didn't give it a specific name because I wanted to keep it open. And then, when I started thinking about it, I wanted to ground it more into Grenada because I wanted to shoot something in Grenada. And started thinking, well, how do I fit this story in? And then I started thinking about Henry Christophe and started to dig into that. Did he really come from Grenada or is this just hearsay? Right? So getting into that research, turns out yes, he was born in Grenada and he left at the age of 12 or between 10 and 12, 1779. And this is the point of the revolution, the American Revolution, the French Revolution. This great war is happening, right? And they're coming down the archipelago trying to destroy the British Empire, right? So now they're coming into Grenada, right? It's called the Battle of Grenada, right? So I was like, well, it could be fictional, right? I can just push Henry Christophe and drop him into this time in Grenada. I can drop his father. I'm going to make up a bunch of information and I'm going to create a story. I'm going to drop Fedon Julian into there and we're going to have a big action movie, right, set into the 1779. And I love war films and I love action movies. And I think a lot of Caribbean people like action movies because it's exciting, right? We live in a currently like the biggest thing that could happen to us that is catastrophic is like a hurricane. You know what I mean? So when we see things on screen like fast cars driving and explosions and all of that intensity, right? We go for it.
That's true.
So I wanted to pack that into a script. So I did. And
What was the
I
feedback like?
the feedback was great. I was concerned that, could the guests that were there like transform themselves back into just a space where they're just listening,
Okay.
because we're so used to watching TV, we're used to watching movies or plays, right, where people are acting out. So this is just a reading, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to know in the end what you took from it. What did you hear? And started to get worried in the beginning, like, oh God, they hate this. People are going to fall asleep. The children are becoming like a little fidgety. And then by the midpoint, I started to hear the quietness in the room. People are engaged. I think they're laughing. They're picking up on the dialogue. They're picking up on the cues. And in the end, people said, this is great. And we want to see this into a full length film. I said, well, tell me more. Is this, Mad Max 300, or is this, your type of film that we've seen before? It was about being on a plantation, right? So it turns out people want to be on the plantation, the simplicity of it, right? Because that's what we know, right? We don't want to turn Grenada into this kind of space that we don't know,
I understand.
like a graphic novel type thing.
Okay.
So I was most impressed by the people who showed up to read, right? Because we just said, well, we don't have many readers, and we spoke to a bunch of people at the conference. People from the conference showed up to read, right? They just came up to Grenville and like, oh, we came. You said you needed readers, and we want to read this script. The 9-year-old boy who played Henry showed up on spot, read his lines. I thought that was great, and it was just on the spot. Nobody read the script that they had any preparation, and they themselves were able to capture the elements and deliver their dialogue. And I thought, I was moved. I was particularly moved because I'm from Grenville. I went to St.
So
Joseph's
am I.
Convent, Grenville. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Grenville Convent. I went to the Roman Catholic School. I went to Miss Gordon's elementary, primary school. And this is where I was inspired the most, was being in Grenville and driving around. And sometimes you see a plantation house, or you pass by the cocoa house on in Granborough there, and you start seeing, driving by these elements that afflicted our past, but you don't know too much about it, right? And now that we're older, we can process that, like, oh wow, that was a cocoa plantation. These sugarcane fields that we're driving by were once sugarcane plantations, right? These fortresses that we see were built by French and English military, so that's how we dive into it, and it's inspiring. Yeah.
Wonderful. So Mashida, I would like to bring you back on screen.
Yes.
Yes. So with the both of you working together, what can we expect for the 5th edition of the film?
Well,
Is it
first,
too early to respond to that, or?
no, it's not too early, but first I just wanted to recap a little, talk a little bit more about Henry. You can bring
Oh,
Trisha back on screen as
sure.
well.
Yes, please do.
So basically, this is a joint venture between Trisha and myself. Trisha is the screenwriter. I am the director and producer of Henry. And this is just an amazing time to see that two Grenadian women are at the helm of this production. It is a historical piece. In the conference, and I'm tying back in the conference. In the conference, they spoke about Mr. Krista Riggs had a presentation on tangible and intangible products of Grenada, and this is just a testimony of us doing exactly what this administration is suggesting that we need to put emphasis on: identifying markers within our history, our narratives, taking control of these aspects, and now putting it in a form that can support and serve our community currently and in the future as inspirations, you know. And I get chills, like last night, having the opportunity to see part of our mandate for the festival in bringing movies to the rural communities, getting the rural communities involved and activated. It advising our local communities the importance of connecting what
Right.
Grenada represents. I mean, I can go on because I'm very passionate about this, allowing Trisha to shine in the space that she grew up and telling the stories that is so unique to those spaces. I sat back and I just looked and I just observed. And, Carly had to be there. We cannot make it up. So, I put it out there that people like Mr. Chris Riggs,
Right.
like the Trisha Queens Douglas, um, and everyone who are creative in writing these narratives, we all come together. Chris and I spoke about that in so many different ways, but my medium is film. How do I visualize this? I'm sitting there. The job is done. Trisha wrote her piece. Now the responsibility is on my end to
Right.
put it into a dramatic space, a visual space. That's where I come in now in really bringing this to life. So, it's multiple tiers and it allows all of us to have a voice. And I'm so honored and thrilled to be able to do this with her in particular because she is a visionary when coming to telling stories. She is great at what she does
Right.
on the paper, and I am good at what I do from the visual context. You asked me a question about the film festival. It's
Yes.
now timely. Our theme this year is from small seeds to big dreams. What
Small
does
seeds to
that
big
mean?
dreams.
Small seeds to big dreams. And that is a theme that we heard echoing over the last 3 days. The government is taking a small vision and putting on this massive conference, Unleash, to give us hope again, to re-inspire us again. You understand me? To dream again. And this is what the 1261 Film Festival is offering. I mean, there was a young lady that came up to me and she was so excited and so passionate. And she's like, Miss, 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 Miss. And I gave her my number. And I said, don't call me this week. Don't call me next week. Call me in 2 weeks. Because
Right.
I also have to figure out how do I mentor her to be a
Right.
part of this. I can, connect her with Trisha to tell the stories because we need the next generation. And this
That's
is
right.
what we're doing. So for this year's festival, we are encouraging Grenadians to create content, whether it's through your mobile phones
Right.
or connect with different communities, your community, and tell stories of what is important to you within your community. Start small, create something big. And then we are here to mentor you alongside the government, mentor you, provide opportunities for you to help you grow and develop. The festival will be in October.
Hmm.
Creators here from Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique has until the ending of August to submit their work to us. They can go on our website to see the procedures in getting their films submitted. So we can go through the process of screening it in order to make selections so we can have a showcase of Grenadian narratives and talent on screen.
Okay. So as we look to wrap up this segment, just closing comments from the both of you.
Hmm. Trisha, you want to go first?
Trisha,
Sure.
kick off
I
that.
just, I would like to tell the Grenadian community, anyone wants to reach out to me, to ask me any questions about how do I become someone like you, someone who writes content for, uh, I would say, film and television. I'm not a playwright, but I can connect you to a playwright. But I'm here to help you discover the path, right? So if you have questions about that, if you have questions about getting into programs, what that would take, what the industry standards would be, if you want me to teach you, right? Machado and I are also in development to start offering courses, right, on how to do that. So I'm here for you. I don't look friendly, but I am. And if you, I'm from Brooklyn. I can't look friendly, you know. But once we start having a conversation, you realize I don't bite, and I'm very friendly and open and willing to share information and guidance. And
Wonderful.
yes,
Wonderful. Mashida, closing comment?
I just wanted, because this is about a recap of this week. I just want to applaud the government. I want to applaud Mr. Romaine and his team for putting on this massive event, because I know what it takes to put on an event of this size, you know. Um, and I am curious, I am eagerly awaiting to see what are the next steps, what are the takeaways that they were able to discern from this to better serve our community. Our people are excited, they're activated, they're waiting to hear how can we now um, find the next steps, the procedures, the how to.
Right.
How do we get access to the funding that the government has allocated for us to create projects? How do we get access for more educational workshops to build capacity in that situations? But one thing I must say, to creatives themselves, they can't sit and wait on the government alone to do it.
That's
The
right.
creatives themselves have to want it. Because one of the things I am hearing, Colin, and I'm not putting anyone on blast, is they have to eat, right? So they are taking jobs from corporations to do the work, but then their passion projects are on the side here. You have to make a decision. The same way you have to eat, I have to eat. We all have the same amount of hours in the day. It depends on your priority
That's
and
right.
what's important to you. So you also have to meet the government here in order for the government to better serve you. So it takes all of us collectively to do so. For those who are interested in the film festival, the 1261 Film Festival is across all platforms, 1261filmfestival.com. The opportunities are there. Trisha says she's not friendly. I may look simple, but my network is very expansive. I am here to serve the Grenadian community. I've been here for 5 years, and I intend to be here for the next 10 years and more.
Thank you so
And
much.
our job is basically to really elevate the narrative that we are creating here onto a global market, because I know that personally as a filmmaker. My film is currently in Africa being distributed, and I know how to get from point A to point B. Several of the international speakers that came in also pledged to support developing here, and we are holding them accountable to ensure that they carry through in helping us develop our capacity here in Grenada. So
All right.
that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you to Mashida. Viewers and listeners, we'll now take a break. And when we return, we'll get into the conversation on Carnival Spice Mass 2023. All right. So please
Thank
remember
you
to
for the
share the live.
opportunity.
Thank you so much to our two guests, Trisha, Mashida. Thank you so much for the work that you do, and have a blessed day.
thank you.
Should your loved ones pass on, they deserve to be treated with dignity. And at S.A. Johnson Funeral Home, we can provide you with that service. We can take you every step of the way during your sorrowful moments. When that need arises, call S.A. Johnson Funeral Home at 347-777-9797. That's 347-777-9797. S.A. Johnson Funeral Home is a Caribbean family-owned funeral home here in Brooklyn, providing funeral services, but in a dignified way. From cremation to burial to the repatriation of your loved ones, you don't have to go through the hassle, as we provide exceptional service that allows you to mourn and heal peacefully. For more information, visit our website, www.sajohnsonfuneral.org. Send us an email at sajfuneral@aol.com or call 347-777-9797. S.A. Johnson Funeral Home, because you deserve to be treated with dignity.
What we have is a scenario where the creative economy is driven by digital assets and has become increasingly a fintech industry. So, whereas we were thinking, well, all we have to do is train some artists and we'll be all right, create some arts institution, you'll be all right, the answer to that is no. That ship has already sailed. If you are not creating people to be digital entrepreneurs and people who know how to manage digital assets on fintech platforms, you are out of the game. And so, to quote one of my favorite authors and collaborators, Carlota Perez, she says that development is a moving target. So if you are in standstill, it means that you're fallen behind. So even when you think you're innovating and coming up with something new, what matters is where you are relative to where the rest of the world is. And in this regard, the Caribbean is pretty far behind.
Resident choreographer, and this is all the little boy. I remember that little boy, resident choreographer at the Children's Theatre of Montreal. Then they told me to audition for Stratford Shakespeare, the Stratford Festival, which is the Stratford Shakespeare Company. And I went and I auditioned. And when I auditioned, it's a company that runs for 9 months of the year. And when I auditioned, I got in. That little got in. And when I got in, who is in the company with me but Maggie Smith? With the Academy Award winner, Maggie, who I saw as a little boy running on Grenada's beach. And I saw that movie and there I am, Maggie Smith, Peter Houston. These are the people in the company with me. So what is for you is for you. You cannot take that away. So we always got to remember that. Talent doesn't make you successful in what you want to do. It's how bad you want it. That passion, stamina, perseverance, sacrifice, gratitude, humility. I bring that to remind you about that, right? Success is not determined by IQ. And it's not passed down. Though because your dad is a big singer, you could be a singer. No. It's not. It depends on how much effort we make to achieve what we want. To get where you want takes a long time. Day in, day out. You have to be, this is all you have, artists, singers. This is your instrument. You have to take care of it like how you take care of a car. This is it. You have to do your diction, you have to do your voice work every day, you have to go to your dance classes. Some people, when they have a gig, that's when they start running to do exercises and stuff. No, you have to be prepared for that opportunity. You have to be prepared. Success takes a long time. Mediocrity doesn't.
Hi everyone, thanks for checking out the Bubb Report's social media pages. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch our weekly live show, follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can catch repeat episodes on Wednesdays at 4 and 5 p.m. respectively on CRFM Radio and GBN TV in Grenada. We are also viewed on Sundays at 8 p.m. on WPG10 throughout the Caribbean. Thanks for watching.
And welcome back, viewers and listeners. We now take the opportunity to go into a deep dive into Spice Mass 2023, following the launch of the festival. Now, this year's theme for Spice Mass is evolution. And we will have a conversation around Spice Mass and how it will evolve going forward. We also will be doing a post-mortem of Spice Mass in the diaspora launch in New York as Grenadians abroad turn their attention to celebrating carnival activities in August. All right, today on the panel, we have diaspora spokesperson, Janice Augustine. Welcome, Janice.
Good morning, Kellon. Thanks for having me.
All right. Also, we will be having a soca artist, better known as Alma Boy, but his name is Curtin Roberts. Welcome. And next to him is Kareem Marcel. You are an entrepreneur, a creative entrepreneur?
Yeah, that title works.
What title best suits you and what you
No, that title actually works.
It actually works.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start off with Janice for a bit. I just quickly want to get your impression of last week's launch of Unleash. I want to get your reaction on that.
I think Unleash, excuse me, as with most of us, it's allergy season.
Allergy season, we know.
The Vicks inhaler, the Claritin, it's working a little, but not working so much. But Unleash was amazing. Unleash was, it's something that you dream about and you hope it happens in your lifetime. But the presentations were so enlightening. And I think what took me out the most was the enthusiasm of the creatives. Because being a creative is almost like you're out there on a limb alone. A lot of our creatives back in the day were labeled crazy because they did not ascribe to the usual. They thought outside of the box. So I think having a space, having some representation where the persons in authority understand what is going on with the person that's walking the street and always has a melody in his head or always drafting something on a little piece of paper. You give them a napkin to eat and they'll draw a cartoon character on it or something like that. Finally, people are able, they're not going to be put into the back of the class anymore because not everybody is cut out for traditional education. Some persons you're teaching math and they'll be drawing the spaceship that landed in Grenada that Sir Eric Matthew Gary talked about years ago. It's how some people's mind works. Every time I see Curtin, Alma Boy, Alma is like he has a beat. He has something inside of him. He's always in that frame. He's always in that space. I remember little Carrie being a bus conductor on the St. David's bus route. And people will be knocking the bus. And Kerry can't open the door because Kerry on her vibes. Kerry has a little notebook while he's sitting on the door writing lyrics. That's my first recollection of little Kerry. So a lot of times the creatives were considered not normal by, I guess, the people who excelled at traditional education because they would get into trouble in class probably most of the time. Because while the teacher is teaching, they're seeing animation. It's different. So finally, we have an industry that welcomes the creatives and will open doors, not just open doors, but kick down doors and knock down doors and give them the opportunity that they truly deserve.
Wonderful.
So I was happy to see it unfold. And kudos to Orlando Romaine, kudos to the government, kudos to Mashida and Trisha and all those that have been doing it for so long with no recognition and people barely understanding what they're doing. And to all those, the young ones who came out and thought, yes, I've found my niche.
Okay. I would like to get Alma Boys and Kareem, I want to get two of your perspective on that as well.
Wow. Unleash. Everybody know me as an energetic performer. Unleash added some more energy to my life. Unleash was just vibes from the start to the end. The inspiration we got from as an artist that I got from that, like I left feeling like, yes, somebody respect what we do. Somebody is going to put some interest and take some time to say, hey, you guys are just as important as the banker, as the teacher, as whoever, whatever occupation. This is your lifestyle. This is your job. This is your everything. You understand? I felt that after that Unleash. And I just want to thank each and everyone that had a part to play. Orlando, I don't want, you could call a bunch of names. It's not him alone, but I know he started this. So you have to give him that credit. And just the government for taking that initiative and getting it done. Because and what I don't want us to stick on, just what happened in there. I want us to take it from there and move it into the next phase right away. We don't stick. That energy is too much to just leave, to just make go like this. We had to keep it going up. We got to keep it going up. Love it. Love it.
Kareem, quickly.
So for me, it was a culmination of what can be and what is. And like he said, I want to see where it goes from there, because the energy was palpable. Even the speeches, the speakers, the visuals, the setup. I'm very big on, visual cues.
Visual.
And, everything. Yeah, everything there was well. I felt like it was a professionally well put together event, and I'm very happy that Grenada is doing something like that. I was very proud of the initiative and the event.
All right, wonderful. All right, Janice, I'll take it back to you now. Now, my first question to you. Take me back to the launch of Spice Mass in New York, right? Why do you think it took so long for the Diaspora Carnival launch to get off the ground?
I don't think I can answer that. I don't know.
Okay.
But I know it's been 25 to 30 years in the making. We've talked about it on numerous occasions. We've tasked a few people with it. In fact, I remember the Opie Holder House of Fire Calypso tent in Brooklyn happening here. And one of the end results would have been even while the Calypsonians in Brooklyn were performing and having shows, and the judges would come up from Grenada to judge the Calypsonians. So, because it's a very, very expensive venture to leave New York for 3 months at one time and go to Grenada. Because remember, New York, life doesn't stop. You have your bills up here, you have your mortgage up here, everything is here, and everything continues to move while you're in Grenada, rehearsing for the Calypso tent and trying to get into the semifinals and all of that. So, Calypso, the judges were brought up for a couple of years, and they came in and they judged Calypso. And at that point, the semi-finalists knew that they had to go to Grenada. So it would give them some more time to get their affairs in order up here. And while this was happening, I remember us having the conversation, and Grenada, it wasn't Spice Mass then, but Grenada were saying, we can launch Carnival in New York. The people in the diaspora want it. They're ready for it. But I'm not sure what never happened. I'm not sure what was the holdup over the years. Okay. But when the suggestion came up this time, we're like, okay, cool, we'll do it. And we had the support of the Spice Mass office in Grenada. And they said, go with it. So we found a venue. We figured out a committee to put together. Miss Frances Purcell in the background is a genius recruiter and organizer. This woman can pull a team of people together to make it work. She can pull a team of people together to make it work. So when we found we called people that we knew had their strong point was, for example, sourcing locations, and you called somebody that you knew who's done bar work and who's been in the industry for a while, and they've been throwing events, so they would figure out how to get the drinks to the venue. So people that were called in had a particular skill set, and we had it was not a lot of meetings. It was not a lot of minutes taking. I'm not even sure if I saw the meetings were recorded. I don't even remember seeing minutes, but people went to work, and it was a pulling of resources that worked very, very well. And once we got the venue and the details were worked out, and it was which artists we can accommodate at the moment, who's available. It was basically a go from Jump Street. So it was difficult. It was a lot of hard work, but people showed up at the meetings when they needed to. people showed up at the venue to check it out when they needed to. Whether it was 5 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock in the evening, we met at 11 o'clock at night. But people, it was an effort that was welcomed by everyone, and everyone wanted to play their role and played well.
Okay. Any logistical challenges? And how did you overcome them? Because you mentioned it, it was a process to get to this.
It was a process. And looking back now, some of the challenges that we had, they weren't so bad after all. The structure of the venue was kind of difficult logistically.
Okay.
For example, the changing rooms for the maypole dancers, the mass band costumes were upstairs, 2 stories up, but there was no connecting to the stage. So they had to come down a stair, walk through the main entrance, walk through the crowd to get to the stage. Logistically, the building were not meant for this, kind of, because it was an old theater, and so I guess we were up in the balcony getting changed. That has been restored, and there's a curation of art up there. So you have a lot of artist work being displayed on the top floor where a lot of the logistics were happening. So getting into the venue was kind of a thing, and I think with the excitement, a lot of more people than not than we anticipated, but a lot more people showed up at the venue. So we had to turn back hundreds of people. So now we know this venue cannot work in 2024. Now we know, well, thanks to global warming, hopefully we'll be able to go to a park somewhere and accommodate more people, more artists from Grenada, more artists from New York. So logistically, that was I think our biggest challenge. And of course, people were complaining that we did not have enough local adult beverages brought in, but that's about it. It's problems that we can live with and fix.
And I'm sure it was well supported. I mean, I have no doubt.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Okay. All right. I would like to bring in Alma Boy and Kareem back on. Again, no, it's really nice to see the two of you together, the mere fact that I thought you would have been on separate locations. So that was well organized there.
Yeah. We pride ourselves on organization over here.
We do.
All right. So sorry to cut you.
I just wanted to give Janice and the whole team, you see, to get that first one inside, I really want to give you a round of applause. That first one is everything. You understand? Getting stuff started is always like, you just have to commend people on taking that first step. The logistic, the mistakes, the look back, we're gonna fix all these things. There's always gonna be things we can look back and but getting that first one in, Janice, give yourself a little tap on the back. Everybody goes up to the team, just big up all yourself for that. I appreciate being a part of that as well.
Yeah, you were amazing as usual.
For moments like these, we probably need the sound effect of cheers, huh? But don't worry, we'll work on it. Don't worry, Kellon.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, as a Grenadian soca artist, and you also do groovy as well. Yes. And also calypso. Just correct me.
I will. Yes, I did. Yes.
All right. Okay. Good. Now, how would you rate the launch that happened last week? And what was your involvement? Because I didn't get to see it. My apologies.
Listen, as I said, just having that first one, I'm giving them an A. Right? I want to say A+ yet. We can still have we have room for improvement, but an A for just having that first one, that first event, and the artists that they had to. I mean, come on, we had the Soca Monarch. We had the Soca Monarch Terra. We had Vaughn, Dash, the Groovy Monarch. 4 times Groovy Monarch. We even had a cameo from the 5-time single Groovy champion, Soca Monarch as well, Boise. So it was to put all these artists together. It was amazing. And for me, performing in the energy with the crowd, it was electric. Like I got on stage and the screams and the vibe and the just listen. For me, every time I do this, like the first time, I tell people that I don't take this for granted that at any moment that I could not be doing this anymore. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
I appreciate doing this every chance I get. It could be the smallest performance for 5,000, for 10. I will give you the same energy. I will give you the same vibe. I really appreciate the people. Let me tell you, we can't do it without. And I want to big up everybody in this. I'm a soca artist, but you see, there's people before me and then people after me in the sense of before me, the producers, the engineers that people don't really check on and give that credit. The mixing engineers, the people who help write and the writers. And then there's the after the let's give the DJs some more credit. You understand? The DJs, the radio stations, the fans. Everybody play a large part in this for me as an artist. It's just not me alone. Yes, I create. Yes, I'm in that mode. I go up there and I do what I have to do. But there's a lot of people involved that we need to see, like give them that, that space that, yes, you are doing a great job. A lot of people, the problem is that, and I'm thankful for Unleash. Unleash mentioned a lot of these people, the creatives, from the producers to the videographers, to the photographers, to the DJs, to everybody, the stage managers, everybody who's playing a part of this. I mean, I want to give everybody, some type of credit for the job that's being done. And Janice, again, thank you. Thank you for having me for that first event. Thanks to Miss Purcell and everybody who booked me for that event. So I appreciate you all very much.
It was an absolute pleasure, and we had a lot of complaints or concerns that some of the artists were not able to get on, and we have to keep reminding people this is the first time.
Yes.
And the cast will change in 2024. In fact, 2024, we're planning to do everything bigger and better. Grenada celebrates 50 years as an independent nation. So we're planning to do everything bigger and better. So the people who were not involved this year, we're hoping to get a bigger planning committee next year. We're hoping to get a bigger cast, a bigger venue, a bigger everything next year. And one of the things we need to apologize for, we had Crave on the flyer, or Groovy Monarch from Grenada last year.
Right.
And it was beyond our control that Crave did not make it to New York. In fact, his visa came back late to Grenada. So we were not able, but the visa was obtained, but it just did not get back to him on time for him to get to New York. So we apologize to the persons who came out to see Crave but didn't get a chance to see Crave. Crave is a talented, amazing vocalist.
Yes.
And listen, we are going to, whether we need to materialize an event and bring Crave to New York to make it up to you, but we're going to fix it, right? And to the artists who came out and showed up. And one of our focus this year was traditional mass. And the traditional mass did not disappoint. Kellon, we had an amazing showcase from the vehicle.
Right.
We had amazing showcase from the Shotney. We had Maypole dancers in New York. We had carnival costumes from Ecstasy, Lavish, Bashik. We had the best of Grenada's Calypso scholar took to the stage and gave the crowd a taste of the Calypso tent. And of course, we had Kush. Kush is based in New York, loves the culture, and Kush is an amazing young artist. We had Zingo, the madman, of course, came off stage and he done them. We had Alma Boy with his energy. And that Alma Boy is one of the things I commend about Alma Boy, Kellon, is that he's always looking to bring a new artist, a breakout artist with him wherever he goes. Alma doesn't do it alone. Alma's policy, I'm sure, is I've never spoken to him from a promoter's point of view, but I'm sure he tells promoters, "Boss, if you care, I want Jarrell, the little saxophone player, with me, and I'm not even sure. He probably pays them from his own pocket, but he's always looking to bring. Like he brought spiky vibes.
Spiky vibes,
I
yes.
think
Yes.
he brought spiky vibes to the studio, and spiky vibes is a whole little mood. Spiky vibes is 5'1" or 4 something, but his personality, his personality is big. So I said to him, make sure you bring spiky vibes to the launch. We need to introduce the talent that is spiky vibes to the Grenadian people, and he brought them along. We had, of course, Skinny Banton with his usual laissez-faire, lackadaisical walk, and but when he hits that stage with them horn songs, when he hits the stage with those horn songs, it's a whole different mood. We had Lil Kerry for the first time in New York City, and New Yorkers love them some Lil Kerry. Kerry came out and he showcased. We had Inspector, the Hitman, Elimas, Hurricane, Melda Oy, Hurricane, Whoosh, Moo,
Veteran.
also still relevant, the veteran Inspector. And he showcased, not only did he showcase soca, all right, and I want to say here that we proved again and again that soca is enough. Our music is enough. We had hours of DJ music from the time the show started, speeches, we had traditional mass, we had soca and calypso, and at not one moment did we have to play the music from another island because the crowd got bored or because we needed to pick up the vibes a bit. Our music is enough. Our talent is bursting at the seams. Our artists are amazing, Kerlin. And Inspector was the only man that brought some diversity to the launch. In the middle of the launch, Inspector broke the crowd out in a Celine Dion, The Power of Love, a cappella.
Oh man.
And Kerlin, the
Oh
crowd,
man.
the crowd sing, they brayed, they shouted, they danced. It was an amazing spectacle to see. Then of course we had Dash, a lyricist, and Dash has grown as a performer that commands the stage. And Dash showed out the launch of Spice Mass 2023 in New York. Then we had Vaughn. Vaughn is a consummate professional. Vaughn is talented beyond means, right? And Vaughn came out and he did his thing and he showcased and left the crowd wanting more. Then we had Little Natty and Thunder, the duo, the energy duo. They came out, wrecked the place down, left the stage. The crowd wanted more. Then we had Terror the Governor, and people were not disappointed. Terror came out, showed up, showcased. It was long awaited, and Grenadians loved it. But what was something else happened? Boise, the 5-time Calypso monarch, the OECS monarch, probably 3 or 4 times. Boise came out, and because Boise was passing through New York, he came from a performance in Ibiza, and he called and said, "I'm in New York," and we said, "Come through." So he came through to look at the show, and then I said to him, "Bro, I can't have you here and you not go up and say hi to your fans. These are your people here." And he's like, "Anything for you." He was just passing through, and Boise touched the stage, and well, the rest is history.
Rest is history.
So an amazing, amazing cast.
Wonderful.
An amazing cast. Everyone did what they were supposed to do.
Okay. Just quickly before I go to Kareem, Janice, Miss Neptune, Marlene Neptune, was she involved in the Maple?
No.
Oh, was someone else?
Marlene. Yeah, I had to teach the young ones to dance. The
Oh.
Maple. I am a Maple dancer. I grew up on Maple in St. David.
Okay. Well then the Mecca.
Our talent runs deep. So I grew up learning the Maypole from Miss Finn in Bellevue Crossroad.
Yes, I spoke to her, Miss Finn. Yes.
As a child. So when we decided to do the maypole, I said, okay, I'll teach them. So we rounded up, and thank you to the parents who brought your children to rehearsal, because we didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. It wasn't a lot of time to put this whole thing together. So we probably had three rehearsals on Saturday for 2 hours from 2 to 4, because we didn't want to keep the children out for long periods of time. And the parents were happy to bring their children to rehearsal.
Okay.
And they came out and they learned it. They were able to master the rehearsal after, I think it was two weekends, because the weekend in the middle we had a forecast for thunderstorms in New York, so we did not have rehearsal on that weekend. So basically 2 weekends, 4 hours, and they mastered the maypole, and they loved it.
Wonderful.
Loved it. The vehicle was amazing. Charlene and the crew from Gov, y'all did an amazing job. When I wanted some information on the vehicle, I called Pele Dabo, because Pele is a walking encyclopedia on the history of Victoria, the history of St. Mark. So I picked up the phone and I called Pele and I said, Pele, I need you to tell me the story of the vehicle. I need you to tell me the history of Victoria and the vehicle. So I was able to have some background information to put some content to their appearance at the launch. So a lot of people work behind the scenes, and our thank you list is long, and we plan to recognize everyone that made the Spice Mass 2023 New York a success.
A success. All right. Kareem, I just want to bring you back in. Just put into context your contribution with regards to the creative industry, so I could get a better perspective on you.
So I pretty much run a Afro-Caribbean centric broadcast platform right here in New York City, Brooklyn to be exact. Alma Boy is one of the co-hosts, very energetic co-hosts on a morning show that we host every Tuesday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We call it the wake up call. We do a lot of original content creation. We've hosted a couple of lives here. We even had Specky in studio here with us during the pandemic. We did Inspector Live with a live band right here. We have done an Alma Boy live here, and we've done several other things, even worked with Spiky Vibes, Squeaky, Kush. So the local soca fraternity, and not just Grenada, we're talking Caribbean, St. Lucia, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad. A lot of artists have passed through our studios here, right here in Brooklyn. So I consider us the mecca of Caribbean entertainment right here in Brooklyn. We haven't had a professional studio in Brooklyn in probably forever. And our space here is a space where people can come and feel comfortable without having to feel like second-class citizens. We have had Super Blue, we have had Problem Child, Skinny Banton, Skinny Fabulous, GBM just come through the studio and just congratulate us on having a space where people can come and feel like it's somewhere they can be themselves and be comfortable. So it's just that's what we do. We create for our Caribbean audience, especially the Caribbean audience that's in the diaspora, because for a lot of years we don't have a platform to call our own. Right? We usually get put at midnight for 2 hours on the big stations, and then after that we have to subject ourselves to whatever they play. The inspiration for this for me was when I first traveled to the US. It just felt like there wasn't anything where I can go and feel like, hey, I'm listening to people that sound like me, that are speaking about the things that are important to me. So that's kind of what GMGT, Good Music, Good Times, encompasses. So this is my contribution to the culture in and around Brooklyn, New York City, and the wider tri-state area. We have listeners and viewers all over the world. So that's basically what we do. As for the Spice Mass launch, I think it was an amazing event. It's definitely needed. I think it's long overdue. So kudos to everybody that contributed towards making that event a success, in my opinion. Obviously, nothing will ever be 100%, and there's always room to grow. But with that being said, it to me, it was a great event. I wasn't able to make it there live, but I definitely followed online, and firsthand, accounts from Alma Boy. We discuss a lot of things like that, because I feel like we have a shared mission on how to push the culture right here in Brooklyn and just make everything bigger and better in a professional way. And I think that's something that we try to bring to that space: professionalism, right? It doesn't always have to be the melee and, but
You're right.
bring, like, Unleash. That's why Unleash is so important, because it brings that professional value. How do we monetize that thing that we have? We don't look at our culture as something that's monetizable, right? This is something people make a living out of. And we need to, educate people around the value of that thing that they do, whether it's singing, whether it's drawing, whether it's making skits, and there is value in it. TikTok and Instagram is billion-dollar companies because of people like us putting our content out there. So I know I'm getting passionate and I'm preaching a little bit, but this is kind of the space we're in, and we're trying to push the culture forward. And what I would like to put towards Janice is, for people like me, how do I become part of the process? Because there seems like there's a disconnect. Like, for something like this, I would have loved to be a part of the process. I'm a proud Grenadian. I fly my flag very high, and I want to be a part of the process. So that's just my take from it.
Jana, just quickly to respond to him.
You're very, very welcome. We're already in the planning stage for 2024. And we'd love to have more people on board. It makes the work easier. In fact, Kellon, one of the things that Spice Mass is already working on is having a cruise ship leave from Miami on August 5th to 2024, August 5th to the 17th of 2024. And we're seeing this as a way to bring a party boat to Grenada. So it's going to be one big floating party hotel leaving from Miami on the 5th, 12 days. By the time we get to Grenada, we spend 7 days on the dock in Grenada. I'm not sure if they're going to put us on the port or on the Esplanade, but we want people to start getting your monies in order for that, because it's going to be an amazing event. All of the artists that wouldn't be participating in competition, because it'd be a long time to take you out of your planning stages for example, Soca Mona. So that the artists who wouldn't be performing at Soca Mona and these big events, we're hoping that we can bring them on the boat. We party from Miami to Grenada. We get to Grenada, spend 7 days in Grenada. You eat on the boat, you go back, you bathe on the boat, you party, you go back on the cruise ship, and because it's like your own hotel room, it's like your own accommodation, your own airfare, one time, same time, right there. So that is already in the planning stages. So we want everyone to come on board. In order to make this a success, we need all hands on deck. Remember, we're building 133 square miles. It takes every Grenadian to make it work. And we, as I like to say, this is the biggest gathering of Grenadians in a single spacing. If we had a roll call this morning, I'm sure we can find about 20,000 Grenadians within the Eastern Parkway, Church Avenue, Rockaway Parkway, and Flatbush Avenue area. I'm sure we can find within 2 hours, we can round up about 20,000 Grenadians in this little space that I've called here. And that is what? Probably 2 or 3 zip codes. So we have a large turnout of talented people out here in New York that's willing, that loves 133 square miles. I mean, I always tell people, mentally I live in Grenada. I'm here, but mentally I'm home, right? Right now I can see myself walking down by the pharmacy, going to Teacher Mary's shop, and see what Freddie and them cooking in St. David's, but in Petit Esperance there. So mentally, we live at home, but we have to come together to build until we can physically return home.
That's right.
So everyone is welcome. If you have a contribution to make, just link us. Link us. We want people that work hard. We want people. We can use your medium because we used a lot of the mediums. Used a lot of ride along. We used a lot of the radio stations. Curtin, we went to, what was that station we went to with Little B? Nice FM. We went to. I'm not sure, but we utilize a lot of media in order to get things done. We have to reach out to every network and that people are listening to. So I'm happy that you want to be on board.
Yeah, Kareem.
We'll link.
Trust me.
You have Alma Boy, so you inside already.
You're inside.
Look, you inside.
Let me just say something. I just thought he was being a little bit modest.
Uh-oh.
This guy, no, I'm the reason why I'm here with him. This guy and his attention to details on the technical side of things. Nothing is left unturned with this guy. Every T is crossed, every I is dotted with this details, the smallest details. This guy right here, don't let anything pass. Trust me, he will be a great addition to the team. I'm saying this live to you because I want, I bring people up all the time, but I believe in them. I wouldn't just want somebody to bring somebody in and they disappoint. I know he will. You understand what I'm saying? And one more thing to add, and I just wanted to say this on a broad base to the artists, to the promoters, to the stage managers, to time. Let's respect time for the upcoming season. Let's respect time. You see, time is something I think that, especially for the shows, artists, some artists have 2 and 3 shows a night, and you might be told to be there at a certain time. And when you get there, sit down there for 2 hours doing nothing, You see that part? I just had to say this for the season for people and the people who turning out, the fans, come out on time too. Because you know what happened? You know what happened Sunday? A lot of people, you perform? Yes, I did. Oh, they can make you perform so early. No, you just come late. Yeah, like come on time and get the full show, the full event. Spice Mass World 2024 will be so. Won't just be nice. It will be real nice. I feel it in my bones, in my blood, in my veins. Spice Mass 2023, will be crazy. People, let's give them a show. Let's especially the artists. Let's do what we have. Let's do what we have to do on our end. Let's show up. They tell us be there on time. Let's be there on time. Let's get the work done. It's a team, we all together. We all on the same team. We all want the same results. We all want, what I'm saying? Sometimes it seems like credit is most important for some people and this and that. No, we all can. You alone can do it. I alone can do it. Janice alone can do it. We have to get that mindset that we're all on the same team wanting that result. All right, great result.
Because you're on that topic, Kareem, I want you to chime in, and then Alma Boy, I'll get your feedback from it. In terms of the rate of the release of new music for this year, I overheard a radio announcer mentioning that, calling people to bring in the music. So I don't know, I'm sure you're in a better position to articulate what's happening.
So far for the season, I haven't seen too much. Music is starting to come out. I have seen a few emails with previews. So I expect the rate to increase, but as of right now, there hasn't been a lot of music as versus other years that has been dropping. I don't know what the reason is. We are on a lot of artists and producers lists. I am actually, and I know that's probably because St. Vincent Carnival is a little bit early. I've been seeing more music out of St. Vincent right now than out of Grenada, but it's not that far apart that it should be that pronounced, right? Right. I'm probably seeing 3 times the amount of music out of St. Vincent versus Grenada, and it's literally probably a few weeks apart in terms of timing. I have seen emails where producers are saying, hey, coming soon, drop in next week. So I hope that will increase eventually. But the rate of releases so far for 2023 I think has been a little bit below than what I've seen in previous years.
Okay, I'm a boy. Let me get your perspective. And also, I want you to respond. Increasing prize monies. I want to get your thoughts on that.
First of all, the part with releases, I'm gonna go on the other side. There are a lot of releases, but sometimes what we tend to do, especially with the popular names, if we don't see those, we kind of tend to, we're not hearing anything. There are a lot of I pay attention to, especially a lot of the upcoming artists, and people have been putting out music. They have to do their work as well. Like maybe that first email with somebody didn't open it. Keep sending it. Make the call. Link people. Like I tell people, there's no excuses in this game right now. He's saying he's not getting it. You understand? There is an issue there.
So let me interject. You said something that struck me. Artists, if you want your music played, please do not jump in somebody's inbox and say, "Yo, play my song now."
Be professional.
We have hosted several artists here on a wake up call, and from islands in and between.
Yes.
And I feel like we consider ourselves a platform to make and create artists. So we definitely look out for the new and the people that's trying to come through. But there is, I say, a level of professionalism that we expect, and we definitely speak to the artists about that.
Yes.
But the way to get your music on air is not jumping into somebody's inbox and saying, "Yo, play my song."
Yes.
So any artist that's listening, anybody that's a PR or works in management or whatever, let's work on that with our artists. I'm not saying that way is going to end their opportunities to be played, but we don't really pay attention to something like that. Once we see it in our inbox, we just move past
that.
Yeah,
interesting.
From the jump, we have to be professionals. From the jump, if you're getting into this, you have to be professional about your art. You have to. If you don't take yourself serious, I guarantee you nobody wouldn't take you serious. And it shows sometimes. Trust me, it shows in an artist's demeanor, in how he represents himself. Everybody have their different style at the end of the day. But professionalism is something you can't really teach. You understand? You had to have it from the jump. You have to have your own way of communicating and be professional about it as well. You understand?
Right.
So
that's right.
There are ways, as I'm saying. I know there are artists who are out there and pushing music out, and but like he said, because I've gotten that to being on this show where people message me, I'll play my music, bro. There's a different way to do it, and you understand what I'm saying. And there are lots of platforms to get your music out there, and if they're not playing it, there are other factors as well. You understand? Sometimes they get it, and the quality may not be what you think it is. You understand?
Right.
These guys want to make sure they put out the best quality on air. Like GMGT, you don't want to be playing music and everything at 11, and then I play a song and then everything just drop.
Right. So let's discuss even the quality of the music. That's a good segue into that. What are your impressions over the years? I'm sure obviously we have improved, greatly, but I still think there's need to improve. Yeah?
So we could talk about quality two ways, right? Quality in terms of production value, like is the music loud? Is it mastered properly?
Mixed properly?
That has been nothing but greatness for a while now.
Yes.
Do you get a few bad apples? Yes. Yeah. But I have to say the producers in Grenada has been doing their work, and the producers throughout the islands have been doing their work. Shout out to Expert. Shout out to Odegon.
Yes.
Shout out to Impulse. Those guys from Grenada.
Hits.
Andrew Hits.
Yes.
Have been putting out nothing but great work. Have no issues with production from that side. Obviously, there'll be a few bad apples, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yes.
So in terms of production quality, I have nothing but admiration and praise for the producers that have been working with the artists. The music side of things, as to content and creativity, I think it has definitely been hit or miss. But the way things are set up right now, a lot of artists is trending in towards the direction of, what can I sing that will go viral, right? What can I sing that will make a good TikTok, will make a good reel, something that's easily digestible? let me use that as an example. Patrice Roberts' Drink Water and Mind Your Business is one of her most basic songs. It didn't show off her vocal range. There was no, I would say, creativity to the writing on that. But that was one of her biggest hits, right? You had Hollywood stars, everybody singing that. It made TikTok. But at the end of the day, she has an extensive catalog that I would think that's better than that song. But people want that virality. They want that instant hit. They want something that can resonate and will, put them in front of bigger audiences. So I don't know what the answer to that is, but I know in terms of creative content, I don't think that the music is as creative and as the storytelling is not there as it used to be. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? I'm not here to discuss that part. But in terms of the content, it has definitely been hit or miss for me.
In terms of the longevity, and I want to get Janice's perspective too as well. I'm hoping that all three of you could really chime in. In terms of longevity of music, and that's just my professional opinion. I think sometimes the artists will use a topic that is just trending, but that's all it's going to be, trending, and then it dies down, and then that also affects the longevity of how far that music goes. Or the years that it's going to be played, or relevant, the relevancy of it. So I'd just like to get your perspective on it, and everyone else could chime in on that as well. And how do we improve that?
Janice, you want to go first?
Janice, you want to go first, or?
Oh, cool. I think when you have a topic to sing on, it comes down to the construction, what you do with it, because every topic is already explored. Every topic is we've already had something on it, whether it's hip hop, R&B, rap. We've touched every topic. What you do with it, and then again, as the guys were saying, it comes down to marketing yourself. For example, Inspector could sing whoosh. You know what is a whoosh color? Whoosh is a wave. Inspector could sing moo, the sound of a cow, and make it work. A lot of other people cannot do that. Inspector could segue from the launch of Spice Mass Soca in 2023 and have the entire audience sing The Power of Love by Celine Dion.
Okay.
A lot of people cannot do that. So it comes down to building a brand. It comes down to what you do with that topic when you get it. Are you singing it? What's the plan? What's your plans for it? Are you singing it? What's the plan? And there is the biggest misconception that we make hits. An artist doesn't make a hit. How that music makes people feel when it hits them is what makes a hit. So you have to start planning. What's my vision for this song? Is it just going to be for carnival? Do I want to take it overseas? Do I want it to cross over into another genre? What do I want to happen? And that's how you start building a song. Some artists, when they go on stage and they have competition, some artists hear the beat before they start putting lyrics to paper. Some people see the outcome, the performance, the stage show before they can write something. So the artist's mind works from different directions. Each of them works from a different place. Each of them is coming from a different place.
So
your music has to be able to reach everyone.
Right.
My take on this is that we have like the seasoned artists who will be able to think like that. A lot of the newer artists probably does not even have the training and do not understand. They just know they love that craft. They have something that they love. And I think Unleash will probably address some of those things by having the workshops and, giving the artists so I expect Unleash to create a better crop of artists. Not saying that the artists that we have now aren't good, but I think artists from earlier in the game will have an understanding of how to go about their business of producing and making music. So that's why I think Unleash is so important for the creatives, and not just from artists or soca, just throughout the genre of not the genre, but the industry of creativity. I think Unleash will address a lot of those things. And the music, it like you said, a person doesn't create a hit. It's how you make people feel. And lately, you would find most of the songs that you see in releases usually one verse and a chorus.
Yeah.
It's over in 1 minute and 30 seconds, or probably 2 minutes, and it's just the attention span and the state that we are in. It has nothing to do necessarily with that artist is making progressively worse music,
right?
But usually they're following the trends and trying to address what they're seeing in front of them. So, and I'm not here to kind of bash that bad music.
No, that's not the purpose. No.
Yeah.
For me, there's no one rule book to art.
True.
Right? We can take the word love and sing a thousand artists can sing about love. As Janice said, how do you deliver the word love? There's no one rule book to it. Famous thing in the islands, we love to talk about Hon can do.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So again, some people might say too much of this, too much of that. But at the end of the day, is how how creative are you with it? You understand what I'm saying? There's no one rule book to this.
Every time I'm singing about Hon, I think it is the first time he's singing about it because of passion.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just about to say, look at Alma Boy's take on Horn.
Right.
That's Emmanuel leave me for. But
wait,
to the
Alma Boy,
story.
you not seen that one? I heard that. I heard that yesterday, actually. Continue.
But listen to the story that Blacker Dan is singing on. I'm glad you see in trouble. In fact, you horn me. You thought the grass was green on the other side. Hey, making you see trouble. Girl, keep going. I'm glad you see in trouble. Then you have Skinny. When I say I fed up with Horn. So every topic has been touched.
Yes.
It's what you do with it when you get it. Where you want your story to. I mean, Curtin.
Yeah.
All you make me like Horn. I mean, I'm sorry. Y'all actually make me like Horn. Y'all have me here contemplating if I should get Horn or if I should horn somebody.
I never hear that. Come on.
But exactly. It's good topics and good management of the topics that makes all the difference in the world. Uncle Sing, he walking the road and bawling, move, it's fun again. So it's what you do with the.
Everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story to tell, and it's what you do with the story and how the story hits me. Right now, I like Horn, and if Skinny come on stage and he don't tell the story of how he get Horn, what was going on there? You understand?
Yes.
Even the way we drink rum, the way we associate, it's topics that are beaten. But some people tell the story, drunk and balling out, boy. Selwyn Noel from back in the day, we were singing about rum.
But
Lava say he kick out his shoes and he run it down. I'm a psycho because rum and music. So these topics are abused, but the stories that come from and Alma Boy and these guys are storytellers. Again, Unleash. Y'all could turn Horn into a whole movie. Every time I hear one of y'all songs, Horn songs, I can visualize it the same way I can visualize Kenny Rogers, the gambler. I can feel the breeze blowing on me, sitting on that train when this guy is giving this guy his last sip of rum and his last cigarette. It's the story. It's how we tell it. It's the creativity. And I believe that we have some of the most talented people on 133 square miles. Some of us are living outside of 133 square miles, but I think our creativity is A plus. It just needs to be nurtured. And you asked about the prize money. It wasn't my question, but I'm gonna answer it.
By all
They're
means.
worth $100,000 and a lot more every day of the week. You know why? They single-handedly sell the jab jab, the shortening, the fancy mask, the artists single-handedly sell carnival. Our budget that we put out to advertise for people to come see this is way more than what we pay the persons that are responsible for the amazing product that we're telling people to come and see. So if I think that every year one of my artists should walk away a millionaire and build a big house in the Bushery in Sauteurs, or build a big house in Paradise or someplace, I say go for it. Because the people who benefits the most barely invest in carnival. And I'm going to name a few here. The Hotel and Tourism Association. They should be giving directly to help pay prize monies and things. The airport. Your business always booked. Your business is booked to capacity every time carnival comes around. What is your direct input into the culture? I know I always get controversial and passionate on this, but I think the artists deserve more. And if they say they want $100,000 and it works for 2024, let's remember these guys don't have a pension plan. They have to pay their own NIS. When they get old, we don't want to have to raise funds and do a motorcade because one of our artists gets sick. We're supposed to give them enough so that they can manage their finances. But when you're giving an artist $40,000, when a Trini soca artist comes to Grenada, we give them 15, 20,000 US. And I ain't talking Marshall, because Marshall is 100,000 US at least. Right? When an artist comes to perform in the Cow Pen or one of them little venues, we give them $15,000 and $20,000. The stadium, he performs for 20 minutes and goes away. He don't have to build props. He don't have to have backup singers. He don't have to pay dancers. He don't have to invest in import stuff to help make his night and his showcase amazing. And he walks away with $15,000. It's almost $45,000. This is what we've been paying our top cultural icon. Mass bands are still struggling for a subvention. When we bring them on the road to showcase, to tell, that is what we're telling people, come see for yourself. So I'm passionate about the money. I think they deserve more. I'm happy that they're happy with what they got at the moment. And I will continue to advocate for the artists, because in my mind, the artists, the mass, the band, every jab on the road should get a money after carnival.
Let me ask a question, Janice. Janice, I have a question. The prize money was announced as 100,000, but there was 80,000 cash and 20,000 in kind. I've seen several people ask the question of what will the in kind be. Do you know enough about that to kind of explain to some people that might be wondering?
I cannot tell you for sure whether it's going to be tickets to travel abroad, whether it's going to be a scholarship, whether it's going to be, but I know it's going to be worthwhile, whether it's a car or whatever. But I know I can tell you it's going to be worthwhile, and $80,000 in cash and $20,000 in kind is an amazing deal.
I agree.
Yes, and
it's an amazing deal.
I might be putting out a song this year because that money's too good to pass up.
But that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, when a Jamo and Mary Noel and them were Carnival King and Carnival Queen, I remember they got prize monies and a car.
Yeah, I remember.
That was then. How do we go back? How do we go backwards? You know, so these artists deserve everything that's coming to them. They deserve every penny that they get. I know, I shouldn't be putting his business out here, but Moisey and I are good. And sometimes after the artist, prior to now of the raising of the prize money, when the artist finished paying off his bills, Because one thing you don't want to be labeled as is a bad performer.
Yeah.
Because dancers don't want to dance for you next year. Backup singers don't want to work for you next year. The people that build your props vex with you. The studio vex with you. The producer vex with you. Everybody vex with you. Where you getting a song for next year? You do not want to be known as a bad pay artist.
Yeah.
But I can tell you there are times when, with that $45,000, boys, he just bring crane and thing into the
Yeah.
all of that is a cost, and not small cost, big cost. So when the artist is on stage and you're looking at the showcase, the fireworks happening, the dancers dancing, the costume he's wearing, whether it's the space shuttle that they built to come on stage, there's a cost to all of this, and $45,000 disappears real fast when you have 4 or 5 background vocals, when you have dancers, when you have the studio to pay, and there are times when the artist cannot comfortably put a $15,000 or $10,000 in the bank after they finish performing.
And Janice, I can talk for myself.
Hey,
2018, after the finals, I was $3,800 in the red, right? Loss. 2019, I didn't make the finals and I made more money doing shows. That year, 2019, when I didn't make the finals, getting booked for shows. So it made me step back and say, let me lead this, competition alone, because I want to do it and I want to do it well. I don't want to represent myself, just come on with one background singer, one this, just to minimize my cost. I don't want to do that. I want to represent myself to the best. And it may not always work out the way we plan, but at the end of the day, the effort I want to put into this and the financial resources that I have to put in is a lot. And this 100,000, and for both prices being raised, Power and Groovy, I welcome. I was so happy to hear that. I know
it's amazing.
It's a step in the right direction.
Right.
People don't understand. A lot of people feel, and I've heard the talk, they feel, oh, artists going up on a stage for 10 minutes and gain all that. No, people, they're looking at it just through this narrow, like it's just that 10 minutes on stage. No, it's way more than that. We artists, as I said, you talk, we rehearsal. The dancers, sometimes you have 10 dancers on stage and you have to pay each, right? Engineer. You have the videographer, sometimes for the, we hire a lot of people and we pay them. You understand? We are good for the economy. Y'all don't even understand how much we put into this. And as you say, I don't want to be labeled bad pay by anybody. My boy didn't pay me for this, that. No, MPC, this and that. There's a lot, score sheet, someone to write the score. So I could keep going on and on. I want to make people understand what we do, by giving the figures that I lost, that 2018, I lost $3,800, right? After I paid off everybody and did everything. And I not even counting how much I invested in the songs every year, in studio time. And
Did you get paid? Did you get anything out of it?
That's what 2019, without getting into the competition, I was profitable. You understand?
So it's worth it to stand up for something. Because I believe if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yes.
And the artist stood up. Some say the timing wasn't right, but the struggles of unionism and bargaining have always been, or most times, been at when somebody's at their lowest point. When you need me the most is when I need to tell you, hey, value me.
Right.
Value me, and I will show up for you.
That's
it's
right.
not the basis of trade unionism and whatever else we were celebrating just a few days ago. So we need to stand up for something.
Yeah, that's right.
And I completely agree with the artist who stood up and said, we deserve better. The same way we have people standing up in all walks of life and saying we deserve better. Why shouldn't our artists say we deserve better? Value us.
And on that note,
other islands are valuing us.
True. And on that note, Janice, I want to give Alma Boy opportunity to just give us a little tease, of what to expect this year. Am I putting you on spot, or could you?
No.
All right, my boy.
So wait now, that's the man you leave me for. You have me can't sleep drinking rum. That's the man. No, man, you could have do better. But really, that's the new man? Tell me. That's the man you leave me for? That's the man you hard me with? Girl, what else do you? What else do you? Hey, Spice Mass 2023 people. I'm telling all the people, if all them book all the tickets, but yeah, yo, I mean, can I say I want to get JetBlue and them a little 2 slap and a little rap and thing for them kind of prices? But you know what? Don't even want to call him. Sorry.
Yeah, don't call him. Yeah.
But people, get your tickets. However you had to get there,
get your tickets. Get your tickets, guys.
And one thing, I'm playing Mass for the first time with Nirvana this year. I'm playing Pretty Mass. I had to, I can't be a mass man and say I ain't experienced a Pretty Mass. That's the only thing I haven't experienced.
Mm-hmm.
One day on Tuesday on the road, I'll be with Nirvana playing Pretty Mass, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. And the ladies will go,
All right, I'm a boy. Well, we definitely look forward to that. So before we take a break, just quickly, I want to get a better perspective on. So, all right. So definitely, when will we be seeing you coming to Grenada, Alma?
I'll be in June 20th. I'll be full time from Grenada until the end of the season.
And when are you starting to release music? Well, you probably have already, but in terms of other content,
there will be others. I have 3 more releases.
Right.
I'm right now the one that's doing really pretty well for me. I don't even want to disturb it right now, to tell you the truth. But there are releases that I don't have control over. Producers who have own the masters, they will be releasing them as well. There's lots of music to come, and I will be. Right now I'm getting shows booked in New York, Toronto, different places, and a lot of the artists are traveling right now, and we always flying the flag and representing. So. Okay. Look at and Alma Boy Music. Follow Alma Boy Music for anybody listening, tuning in. Hotflex promo management, or you can inbox me and I'll send you over to management for bookings and all this good stuff.
All right, wonderful. All right, viewers and listeners, we take our final break, and when we return, we'll have our wrap-up segment with our panelists. Stay tuned.
Very proud of what you're doing, and I think it's much needed. So thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you again for watching the Bubb Report. Viewers and listeners, we want to thank you sincerely. Ashley, thank you so very much. Senator Chester Humphrey, welcome to the Bubb Report. Mr. Mitchell, welcome to the program. The Honorable Jumani Williams, we call him Jumani, who is the public advocate for the city of New York. The Honorable Basdio Pandey, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Pandey, welcome to the Bubb Report of Grenada. The Honorable Tobias Clement. Mr. Clement, welcome to the Bubb Report. Is it Nicolai or Nikolai? I hope I pronounced it.
Nikolai.
It's Nikolai. Thank you.
Yes.
And welcome to the program. Her Excellency Ambassador Luan Gilchrist. Mr. Randall Robinson, you are here in your private capacity and in your personal capacity. Yesterday we learned that you were detained by law enforcement in Grenada. So you come from a family of public servants.
Yes, we are a family of public servants.
So you're saying that you have to do more, but my question is, what have you done as President of the Union to ensure that happens?
To the cards that I have drawn, that I am the minister at this point in time. And for members of the public...
But you're also a servant of the people. Why would we have ambassadors representing the state that do not understand clearly what their terms of reference are?
All right, and we are back, and we'd like to bring back our 3 panelists just to get some closing comments. I believe our ladies first. Janice? All right, Janice, your audio a bit. Okay, while she sort out that, I'll kick off with Kareem. Closing comments.
I would like to say I'm looking forward to Spice Mass 2023. I think the panel, the culture is in good hands. I like some of the activity that I'm seeing early. The Spice Mass launch in New York, I think it's a great idea. Right now, I think Grenadian culture, Spice Mass music, Spice music, Grenadian music, jab music, however you want to call it, is definitely trending, and it's one of our greatest resources if we harness it properly and market it properly. So I like a lot of the initiatives that I'm seeing to push the culture forward. So I look forward to being a part of the solution. I see this without, bragging. We have one of the best spaces and some of the best content that we're pushing out. So I volunteer my services to people or the powers that may be, so we can, put out great content, market the culture and the country the way it's supposed to. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Do we have Janice, or should we go to Alma Boy? Alma Boy, we'll go to you.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So first off, I just want to commend everyone on the exceptional job that they're doing for Spice Mass. The government have to give the credit. You have to give them the credit, for taking the initiative that they did, right? So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful. One thing I just want to say to everybody that, again, we are a team. We all want the same great result, right? And there are some experienced individuals in the business that have been for a while, and I'm not ever going to disrespect them in any way whatsoever. But there are some also young, talented creatives out there as well. We need to figure out a way to come together, like, for the better of the culture, right? Where we put the young minds and the experience together. No competition, no egos, just for the development of the culture. We need to bridge that gap. You understand what I'm saying? As I said, I'll never disrespect the people who've been in this forever. I always show the utmost respect. And the young ones coming in too, we need to come in. Listen, you have ideas. We always have ideas, but I'm encouraging you to not just come in with talk. Lay out your ideas to the elders, to the people who are experienced. Don't just, all right, I have this great idea, blah, blah, and then they disregard you. No, come ready, come with your ideas laid out, because this thing is for all of us. So that part of it, I just want to see the development of the culture go forward. I want to see Grenada just, Spice Mass is something unique. It's not Trinidad Carnival. It's not Brazil. It's something unique. It stands on its own. Don't try to change that part of it. You see the jab? You see the jab? Find a way to develop the jab. Yeah, don't see the jab. I hope Janice gets to come in on that, because she has a actual not oil. She has her own little mixture that is good for the environment. That is
with the charcoal.
Yeah. The mix of the, and I tried it.
Yeah.
It came off like that. You rub it off. It's same shine, same black, same everything. It's incredible. So,
high-tech jab.
Yes. So in that direction, let's develop that. You see, that's what I'm saying. We're taking it to next on another level. Let's keep going there.
Can we pattern that formula?
That's the plan.
Go ahead and talk about that. But hey, again, Alma Boy
10% commission, eh?
So Janice, closing comments from you.
I just want to let Grenadians and the people who love Grenadian culture know. I'm not sure if the people who's supposed to tell you that we appreciate you enough. I'm not sure if they tell you enough. But the level of patriotism, the level of love for the culture is amazing. And when you're able to pick up your phone and call on your artists, and your artists show up and bring their A game, nobody didn't say, you know what, we ain't know about all, let's wait until next year, because we ain't putting our product on a Spice Mass New York launch that we're not sure about. Everybody showed up and showed their A game. My meeting with the artists prior to going on show, because it's one of the things I don't like. And I'm sure if I don't like it, a lot of other people in the audience don't like it. I looked at the launch, and sometimes I look at shows, and you see the people are not satisfied because they don't get to be involved enough. They don't get to
to vibe enough. But there are some artists that'll run on stage and want to perform 80 songs. No, you pick the best 8 or 10 songs. Look, if you go to a concert anywhere, if you go to a show anywhere, an artist would have a run sheet, and you pick the best songs, your hits, or your song that people consider hits, and you give them enough that they could sing along, that they could dance, that they could catch a vibe with, before you wheel out or the DJ go crazy behind you and just pull the song up in the middle of a line. They take you to a high, and then they drop you there. And then you have to go back and try to get another high. So one of the things I said to the artists, let's keep the interaction with your crowd. We want to see them interact with you. We like Alma Boy goes on stage and they're singing the song while he's coming on stage. He doesn't even have to say a word. If you interact, some of the artists need to spend a little more time in front of the mirrors and learn to rehearse, just as how we learn to perform, just as how we learn to dance. Performance is an art. You don't just run out of the crowd and jump on the stage without a plan. There has to be a plan, and it will only make your product better.
Right.
It will only enhance your product. If you know that you're singing the first, you don't just run from place to place and pelt on any old song and shout to the DJ, Mr. DJ, track 8. No, that is not our business in the audience. Your DJ is supposed to know that you're doing X song, Y song, Z song in that order. And he's supposed to play enough of the song to bring in the audience.
Right.
And when you bring them in and they love it, then you could take them to another level and another level. So I just want the artists to pay attention to their craft. That is what I'm hoping. One of the takeaways, pay attention to your craft. And you're not performing for yourself and your DJ, you're performing for the audience in front of you. Pay attention to your craft. Your craft will only get better. And in leaving, I want to say to big up to the entire Spice Mass New York crew. We had full support from the Spice Mass Grenada committee. They came up here. Kurt Ross came up. Cecil Noel came up. Kirk Sita Hal came up, and they helped us in pulling our weight on the day of the event. They helped with promotion. They came to the radio stations. They helped on the live. So everyone came out and did what they were supposed to do. And thus we can boast that we had a successful event. And I thank all the artists, every patron who came out. Those of you who did not get into the venue, I apologize. Space was a factor. It is something that we promised to work on. And to everyone who made a contribution to make this event a success, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And going into 2024, Kareem, we need you. We need everyone. But so going into 2024, everything will be bigger and better. And right now, the only thing left for you to do is to book a ticket to Spice Mass if you don't have a ticket to Spice Mass 2023, and go home to Grenada for the best celebration in the world.
All right. Perfectly well said. Well said, Janice. We appreciate you. And we definitely probably need to have you back on the program.
Thank you, Kellon. Anytime.
All right. Blessings.
All away.
All right. So this concludes our conversation. We really like to take the opportunity to thank our guests. It was really a stimulating conversation. And definitely we'd like to also thank our viewers and listeners as well for staying with us. We appreciate it. I think the numbers went up as high as 126. That is well received. Stay tuned, guys, to next week's The Bubb Report. I am Kellon Campbell. Peace and blessings.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for checking out the Bubb Report's social media pages. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch our weekly live show, follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can catch repeat episodes on Wednesdays at 4 and 5 p.m. respectively on CRFM Radio and GBN TV in Grenada. We are also viewed on Sundays at 8 p.m. on WPG 10 throughout the Caribbean. Thanks for watching.